about contour, curve, impulse of the brush, and or pen or pencil. And I am going to quickly, briefly show what I mean. And I would love it if everybody did this exercise, even if you throw everything away and move on to anything you want. This is my example of contour, curve, and impulse of the brush. This is just brush. And the reasoning for this, one, is because everyone loves ellipses, but they appear so often. I mean, they're just fundamental in so much, obviously in still life. So my point about this, though, is that it is also a hugely valuable organizational tool for something like this. So I've obviously set up everything, bowls with round things in it, glass things, seeing in and around. And, this is, when you dig back through this Cezanne, you see very much some of what I'm talking about, where he uses this repeated line. I think the next page is a good example too. And I mean literally repeated. He repeats the contour, he repeats the interior with also pointing out this elliptical theme, and then obviously there's also more. But the skeleton in there of picking up on your elliptical shapes is can be a very valuable tool for. I guess I'll use a big brush for pulling things together with a structure. And in a way, the first day when we did the Demuth thing, and we worked with the edges and the moving of the edges and watching where things meet or contrast. In a way, this is just a continuation of that, except now it is the curve, ellipse, part of an ellipse, as you know, depending on your angle. If you're looking straight down on a bowl, it's going to be a perfect circle. You're standing above it. As you change your orientation, the ellipse narrows, the mouth of the jar, and you just keep getting that change, which can be very interesting. And when you think this way and do a little exercise like this, you can find that this is the way these things then all lock in, if you will, or actually that's too rigid a sound. How they repeat and give our eye that wonderful continuity and repeat. And you pick up on things, not only the objects, not only the bowls first, the objects, maybe the glass things, and shadows. So you have this whole continuation. I am just going to kind of copy this rather than go over there, because this was done from a similar thing. Use your whole arm. This is sort of why I wanted the newsprint, which I don't have. Use your whole arm and look at whatever it is in front of you. This gives you a moment to say, I'm sitting at the end and I'm looking up, and I see maybe 3 bowls, a couple of glass things with apples. Start by air drawing. Just literally think of this as a physical warm-up, so you were about to do something, shovel snow, or play tennis, or whatever it is. So you're doing this. Actually, if you both part a tiny bit, I will. You're okay, Kathy, but then you can't see.
That's all right. I'll stand up.
So I'm looking over there, and I am air drawing, which is a good thing to do anyway. If you were out and doing trees and woods and whatever, air drawing is a great beginning orientation. Just sort of, you find yourself, you find your focus. And so I'm doing this air drawing, and da-da-da-da, and da-da-da-da, and then I am literally, almost musically, going to commit to some paper. I don't even have to look. I'm not trying to get verisimilitude. I haven't used that word in 2 years now. And you can even continue your line, pick up on that apple. There's a big jar over there with a big blue and white ball. And here, then I'm going to leave it. I've got a, well, actually I might put another thing. By being very free, very physical, I am probably going to be more accurate than if I were sitting here and going, damn it. You know, what is that? What is that? So I have now established this. Don't think ahead. Don't think into the future saying, how will I convert that? Can I work on this paper? Don't, you know, be in the moment. And here I am, and I might eventually, I mean, maybe I'll do a little thing, but I am repeating, just like the revered Cézanne, I am also repeating. I'm going back over a line, sort of confirming it, and as I do that, I'm saying, okay, now that really does connect with this. It's a reflection of it in a way, but the way this comes down into here. So you might now pick up on emphasizing a curve, or basically you're working with the curves. You know, don't worry about your angles or whatever. Again, don't go into the future. So I find this pleasing. I find that this, you know, then there's a da 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 da. So you're being very primitive, very immediate, very physical. Keep using your whole arm. Keep doing that, and I find this, and I think, okay, are these little orphans over here? No, they are connected. They are connected, and I am going to pick up a shadow that is going to give me a real connection here. At a certain point, magically, you aren't going to be really looking at that. You're not trying to, you know, record. You're trying to bring it, interpret it. And so maybe that shadow is not exactly like that, though you may be surprised how very much like it is. So you pick that up, and then this counter curve that is in a reflected glass, and here, and I'm now finding a very strong structure in here. I am going over and over, so, you know, that's again for the bad paper. So that, you know, maybe there'd be nothing I could do with that, though, you know, Cézanne could now take that and put a couple of, he would actually not like to hear anything I'm saying. I am not supporting this by saying this is the way he, in any way, painted. So, you know, you can take, at this point, some wonderful big strokes with a brush, and which is that stage here. They can be a contour edge. There can be some value changes, and you start developing a little pattern of laid down pieces. But the main thing is to be really free, really brainless. In your body, not in your mind, not in. I think, and I'm speaking for myself. I sometimes have this little epiphany when I'm painting. It's very easy to be in your product, in your future, whatever it is you're going to do, and thinking, you know, that painting I did of, trees with the path and da-da-dee-dee-dee-da-da was just wonderful, and I want to work, that's just what I'm trying to get at again. I mean, nothing wrong with thinking about your work, but if you are hanging in that future thing, you are not in this, which is going to bring you a much more organic, basically I'm talking about composition. And when I did this one, which I quite like actually, I had a little bit more fun with, back to Karen, this is not good paper, it's not watercolor paper, it looks like printing paper. But with this, I was able to get sort of mutations of the wash. And on this typewriter paper, you're probably not going to get that kind of thing. So there is an argument for just what Karen suggested. But because the weight of your stroke, go back to Cezanne here, the weight of your stroke is value. It's everything. It's value, it's color, and therefore you get all the delicacies that are happening when you translate into paint, and you realize that underneath it, all importantly, is the contour, the edge, and in this case, the ellipses. So that does relate to our first class with the using the shifted angles and everything. But see also, if when you do something like this, I stopped at a certain point. I just felt, wait, that's great. Leaving this here is an interesting thing, but I wasn't in the future product quarter. I was still back in the physical creating of it, and it felt organically correct to stop. I think that if I were to turn that, or to have turned it into a painting, it would be a more interesting painting. There's something that was caused by this approach.